How is everybody doing right now? This is Devin Albertson for the Weekend Sports Kickoff here on X106 and KNWT Channel 8. I'm joined today by Sean Nino, Ryan Elliott, and Trevor Mater. Also on the show, we will have Northwest Missourian sports editor Isaiah Swann here in a minute. But first, guys, how are you guys doing here in the studio?
Doing good. busy Friday, busy weekend ahead, so ready to talk some sports for a little while.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely, and we're going to bring Isaiah in here, of course, the editor for the Northwest Missourian. But before we do so, we have our intro for Isaiah for every week.
That's why I don't read the newspaper, because it's garbage, and the editor that let it come out is garbage.
So, Isaiah, how you doing today?
It feels weird. I'm actually in. Like, are we actually live? Like, am I on? Am I even on?
Yes, you are. You're good.
I'm on, and it's actually live.
Yes.
I'm actually on the show. This is weird. We've been on here for 4 weeks, and I've never been on. So this is an opportunity.
Don't get used to it.
You've been on the radio for 3 to 4 weeks, but you've been on TV for the first time now, so we're good there.
Wow.
We've been on radio at least. So
this is great. I'm excited.
So we're going to start out with Bearcat Football here, of course. Tomorrow they play UCM, but first, before we do that, we'll go back to last week versus Missouri Southern. They took care of the Lions 63-0 on Family Weekend, and we all had questions about the offense coming into that game, but then they kind of quieted the critics there with a 63-point output, and Martin tying the school record for touchdown passes in a game. Isaiah, what did you think of the game there on Saturday?
Well, to what you just said, I think Zach Martin had as good a day as he could possibly have. 6 throwing touchdowns. That's what they really needed this offense to do, was explode, and they exploded. First touchdown of the game, Brody McMahon, Maryville guy. He grew up here from Maryville High School. I think that's really good that he got the first touchdown, 10-yard score there, and then Jordan Thompson, everyone talked about him. He got his red shirt pulled. He got 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards rushing. I think that was good. I think that was, honestly, for me, the biggest takeaway was we got to see them run the ball. That was really my greatest takeaway, was to see this team run the ball consistently and confidently. It looked like they had been there before. I do think, once again, we have to remember that this is Missouri Southern. We don't know what we can really gather from a game like that. Knowing that the defense, even Coach Wright said it himself, like, this isn't that credible of a defense. But that 63 points, guys, I don't think anyone in this station predicted they'd score over 40.
I said 41-3.
Okay, 40.
I had the 41 points. What do you have, 45-7 or something like that?
After you left, Max predicted 45-7.
There we go.
Yeah, I think the running game was definitely the most exciting part for me. Obviously, they shut them out. Obviously, Missouri Southern didn't get in the end zone. They didn't score any points. I think that's always impressive. I think this defense is possibly scarier than last year. I don't know. This defense is doing some crazy stuff. I mean, you look at the stats. I mean, you could look up all you wanted, and they're just eliminating everything that is good about any offense. Everything. Yeah. And so, I'm not sold, though. Kind of transitioning to Central, I'm not sold on this offensive line yet. I remember Max Moore tweeted out something after the game that said this should quiet some people down. No, I don't think so. I don't think that quiets anyone down, because yes, Landon Kubicek, great. He had a great game, and I think that the offensive line did have a great game. And props to them, because they needed a game like this. This is huge. I don't want to diminish or take away a single thing that they did, because they were excellent. And I think Coach Wright said it best. I think if even Missouri Southern would have been on their A game, I don't think they would have had a chance. But there's still question marks. I don't know if we can. I don't think I can officially and confidently say that this offensive line is where it wants to be.
Yeah, definitely there. I know versus Missouri Southern, they had, 280-some yards rushing there against the Lions. I just had the stats pulled up there. You had 272 yards on 43 carries, which is 6.3 yards per carry. On the other side, Missouri Southern, they had 24 carries for negative 43 yards. So that's the defense kind of controlling the game there, in the offense, finally opening up some holes for Thompson, McMahon, and Grove, among others. So I was really impressed with the offense last week. The defense did its thing. Martin was pretty accurate. After the first quarter, he had a few things early, but after that he really settled in and was able to find Bain and Bishop downfield. A little bit trickery in the offense, too, with the flea flicker, I think, helped energize the team a little bit. Sometimes you see gadget plays kind of energize the team on offense, and I think it's really helped this past week.
I like the offense. The offense was very, very nice to see. Like I said, going into, can we go to UCM? Is that
Yeah,
a
what's
thing?
going on? Speaking of UCM, has there been any update on Shane Williams, if he's going to play or not? I know I saw him in a boot the other day, so I'm not sure if he's going to play or not. He got hurt there against Southern, so I don't know if anybody's heard about that or not. Or
I haven't heard anything, but for not walking off the field in your own power and to be playing, I don't think we see him.
yeah, that's number 2 receiver, good possession receiver for Northwest, out of the game.
And he leads the team in catches, right?
Yes, he does. I think he has 26 on the year.
So that's a big deal. That was the big story. Okay, not the big storyline, but that's a big deal. That's in my mind, Sean Bain is probably the most athletic guy in that wide receiving core.
Definitely.
But Shane Williams is the guy. Like Zach Martin loves him some Shane Williams. He loves it, and he's reliable. He's the senior leader. He's one of the senior leaders on this team. Like they go to him a lot.
Yeah,
so that will be that Quincy Woods, like you said, being back is going to be big. Yeah, I don't know what you guys have.
Yeah, because Shane Williams, he has 26 catches this year. Bain has 22, 17 for Grove, and 12 for Bishop. Next most is 7 for Clayton Wilson. So a lot of guys who don't have a whole lot of catches this year are going to step up, including Woods and Kennedy Sykes, and among others. So a bunch of guys there on the offensive side of the ball who's going to have opportunities versus a Southern defense that can allow some chunks through the air, allows 240 yards passing and 190 yards rushing a game. It's about 430 a game, including 33 points per game. So there's definitely holes in this Central Missouri defense that this team can exploit.
Yeah, I think this defense is going to have some interesting problems. I don't see Northwest scoring. Let me see. I want to say this less than 40. 50 or 50 is like bare minimum. I think they have to score more, and I don't think they have to. I just think it's going to happen. That's just how I feel. I don't know. I need some feedback. I'm sorry.
One of the things here's one of the things that I see from this Central Missouri defense is that they run a 3-4, which is something you don't see as often in Division II football. And when you come out in a 4-receiver set against a 3-4, I think a lot of the times what you see is they want to keep the safeties over the top, especially with Sean Bain on the field. So if you come out in a 4-receiver set, you're looking at the slot receivers are all on outside linebackers. And so they're all, you look at maybe Quincy Woods is on an outside backer. Maybe you've got Bishop on an outside backer, or Kennedy Sykes, or Alex
Bain in the
Tatum,
slot.
or Bain in the slot on an outside backer. All of a sudden you create those mismatches and you get space over the middle of the field or space even down the sideline with somebody on a wheel route matched up with an outside linebacker that he's just going to burn. And so that's something that creates some advantage against the Central Missouri defense.
And last year, Central Missouri really struggled with the Northwest running attack, and Northwest did a great job with Phil Jackson and Wilcox last year running the ball against that 3-4. We'll see if they can get back to that and blocking that 3-man line. They did a really good job last year with that.
How many touchdowns is Jackson Newman going to allow? Like the famous Twitter guy. I mean, you know that as soon as he steps on the field, there's going to be a play drawn up that goes to him, and they're going to throw it right at him.
Yep.
So I'm just wondering, I think one time they're going to score at least. The odds of them getting 2 is not out of by any stretch of the imagination. It could happen.
Yeah, a little bit of thing on Jackson Newman, what Isaiah's talking about here. He's the one that put on Twitter. He's one of the backup safeties for UCM. He was, I think, honorable mention on MIAA last year. He's put on Twitter, PSA Bearcats 9.30.2017. Hashtag streak is over. Insinuating the Northwest 34-game winning streak is coming to an end on Saturday. He has since then deleted that tweet and a lot of his tweets in the past week. So
This is the exact opposite of what you do. They poked the sleeping bear.
we'll go over to the Central Missouri offense now. A couple guys to keep an eye out for come Saturday. Of course, quarterback Brooke Bowles. That name sounds familiar because he's the younger brother of both Blake and Brady Bowles, who play there at Northwest. He's a 6'3", 190 redshirt junior. And, of course, his lead receiver is Jalen Zachary, a 6', 180 senior, who last year was the Special Teams Player of the Year, and he was also a first-team wide receiver in the MIAA. So he's really explosive on the outside, and Bowles, a little bit of accuracy issues this year, but he's still a dynamic athlete, so we'll see what he can do on the field versus the Bearcats.
Yeah, and looking at the stats, this is a good Central Missouri offense. I know
Yes.
defense, we have a lot of questions, but is this maybe one of the bigger tests for the defense here. I mean, if they can hold Central Missouri to, say, 10 points or 13 points, does this really solidify this defense as maybe being even greater than we thought it was?
I think that's one of the things you look at. But another thing with this offense sets up perfectly for the Northwest defense, I think, because they've got a mobile quarterback and a guy that can get in his own head, like Brooke Bowles can and like his two older brothers could as well. If you put him under pressure, he will make mistakes. And the entire motto of this defense, especially in the pass game, is pressure first, and then and then everything will come later. And so, if they can put pressure on Brooke Bowles, which I have no doubt that they can, he's going to make mistakes. There are going to be issues. He's going to throw some balls where he doesn't want to, and so that's, I think, sets up perfectly for this Northwest defense when you look at a team like this. A guy that can make mistakes when he's under pressure is exactly what the Northwest defense wants to see.
You said it best, Ryan. This guy is not. You said he's similar to his brothers. I agree with that. I think if we remember the Bowles brothers, they've got a little bit of a temper. Mm-hmm. They're not your typical. They're not Kyle Zimmerman. Okay, Kyle Zimmerman was cool, calm, collected guy. He also played out of his abilities. It was insane. But you think about that, and you think about, man, what. I look at the other parts of this team. I look at Devontae Turner, the running back. Mm-hmm. He's second in the conference in rushing. That's something I overlooked. Because we want to look at Bowles, we want to look at this passing game, and like you said, Ryan, this sets up good for us. We've got people like Marcus Jones, Anthony Lane, Eddie Ritchie, Jack Richards, Jacob Brinkman. Am I missing anyone? Like
Gassman. Gassman, back to safety.
Gassman. These guys are. These guys are probably one of the best parts of this defense. Don't get me wrong, the D-line is great. And don't get me wrong, the linebackers are great as well, but these safeties and corners fly around. It is fun to watch. Mm-hmm. And so I think one thing I'll be looking out for is how will they be able to run the ball? Because if they can run the ball, that might be a small issue. I don't think they will. Quick note, Coach Sabota for the Mules is 1-7 all-time against Northwest, and he's 8-15 versus top 25 opponents. So not great numbers there for Sabota against Northwest, but we'll see what happens here when they play Bearcats on Saturday. Game's at 4 o'clock.
I bet you probably know this, but Coach Sabota is a longtime assistant at Northwest, was an offensive coordinator over Mel Churchma.
Yep, so he's got Northwest ties. UCM's still a good program down there, but they have struggled playing Northwest, as many other teams in the MIAA have as well over the past 20 years or so. So that's what we got for you today. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will talk some more Bearcat sports, as long as a little bit of Maryville athletics there at the end, here on the Weekend Sports Kickoff. How's everybody doing today? This is the Weekend Sports Kickoff on X106 and KNWT Channel 8. I'm Devin Albertson. Today I am joined by Sean Nino, Ryan Elliott, Trevor Mater, and of course Northwest Missourian sports editor Isaiah Swann. Isaiah, I know we got the Bearcat sports section pretty easily. Now we're going to go to some other sports, including there's a soccer game today that I have some information on for you people at home here in a second. It's a soccer game hosting Southwest Baptist afternoon at 4 p.m. at Bearcat Pitch. You can catch the game on the MIAA network. For more information, go to either bearcatsports.com or the MIAA.com. KNWT is producing the game through the MIAA network. Brett Peters will be the producer, while Austin Hall and Max Moore will be on the call. And Isaiah, soccer game tonight. They play Baptist. See if they can get back on the winning ways.
Yeah, and we're sitting here about the same place as last week. 3-4 soccer team. If anyone knows what that means, if you don't know what that means, it means they're doing good. And it's like, what? They're below 500, Isaiah. How could you possibly say that's good? Guys, they're 3-4, and this is not the last couple of years what they've been doing. This is good for them. This is exciting. I like this team. They're young. Very young team. And the girls that are really scoring the goals, creating chances, those are the girls that are freshmen and sophomores. So I'm going to be long gone when this team is. I don't know where they'll be. This is a tough conference. I mean, you look at the last game, 6-0 against Central Missouri. That's tough, but Central Missouri is also the third best team in the country. So there's not a lot we can really hope to build off that. But 1, 2, 3, 4 straight games at home. that should be good.
Next 2 weekends.
I see all 4 of those games are winnable against winnable opponents. So next week we can talk a little bit more about, man, what strides has this team really made, because right now they've played that number 3 Central team twice, and they've also played Missouri Western once. So that's 3 of their 4 losses right there against really, really good teams that are having great seasons.
I think 3 and 4 means 3 wins, 4 losses.
Yes?
Okay. So I know what 3 and 4 means.
Okay, we're making sure.
It's just a
Iowa,
big
man.
deal.
It is.
They also lost to Rock earlier this year, 3-1. So that's their other loss besides the 2 ranked teams.
This is 3 straight years of 4-win seasons. This could be a change. I don't know. We don't know. We have to learn more. We have to look into it next week.
But we're going to go off campus for our next topic here. Isaiah, you brought up in the before the show started that you want to talk about a little about Maryville Spoof-Allen athletics there and what's happening over there across town.
Yeah, I think we always talk about Northwest athletics, as we should. But whenever Maryville athletics are doing something special, which happens quite a bit, they need to be recognized for it. I'm going to start with the golf team. They won districts as a team. This is a talented squad with a sophomore that's the number 1 player on the team, and she's been playing amazing. She's been doing some really special things. She won first overall at the district tournament and at the conference tournament. She will be at sectional golf, so she'll be special there. Moving on to, so that's special. That's special when a team wins districts, and this is a team that's been in the shadow of Smithville, which is in their conference, over the last 5 years. So this is good for the girls team to kind of make that leap. The guys golf team has been there. The girls golf team has made strides now. Going into Joe, you want to talk Maryville football? Is that what you're in for? Do you want me to hold you till the end, or do you want to do it now?
We can wait till the end.
Okay. He just kind of slid in here, everyone.
You're not going on TV for the segment anyways.
But you are?
No.
Maybe.
Okay. I didn't know if he just came in here and just started like. Anyway, going to Maryville tennis. This is a team that didn't lose a duel almost all year. I think they lost 1 total all year. This is a phenomenal tennis girls program that has consistently been at the top every single year. 3 years ago, they lost in the district finals to Chillicothe. They still went on to sectionals. Last year, they played Chillicothe in the district finals, and they won. They went to sectionals. That's a big deal for a tennis program from a small town that doesn't really put tennis as a priority. Nicole McGinnis is doing special things with this program. I've also heard that she might be wrapping up her in about three years. She may be done and retiring, which is a really sad thing to see, because she has done phenomenal things with this program. She's taken everyday athletes that aren't interested in tennis and transformed them into guys that can compete at the tennis tennis potential that there's been shown. And then finally, gotta give the shout out, Maryville soccer. Guys, it's on the rise. This is a team. Dale Reuter, he's coached the girls for a while now. This is his first year coaching the boys, so now he's coaching both the boys and the girls soccer squads. Their record is 10-4-1. They're on a 6-game win streak. They've gotten big wins over teams like Chillicothe, who has been known for their soccer over the last decade. Chillicothe is one of those teams that's been good. Along with that, Bishop LeBlond, they got a big 3-2 win over them, and they got that 3-2 win off a goal from midfield in the final 5 minutes of the game. So this soccer team is really special. They've also gotten a 6-1 win against Savannah, 9-0 against Lafayette, and 13-0 over Cameron. That game was over by halftime. This team is very, very good. These are a lot of big, tall soccer athletes that have been playing since they were 8, 10, and they've been playing together for a really long time. They played Summit Christian Academy yesterday. Picked up a 3-0 win. They're going to go play Class 3. They're Class 2 soccer. They're going to play a Class 3 team, Liberty Winsfield. They're 15-2. That's going to be interesting to see how they do against them. I wouldn't be surprised if they get the win there. So 3 just sports I had to speak on because those are the smaller sports, and I say that because it isn't Maryville football, so we don't get to hear a lot about them. And they're doing some special things, and that's awesome.
And then, as you said, Maryville football, they play Smithville tonight. I know, Joseph, you've been covering the team for KNWT Channel 8. I know, Isaiah, you do every once in a while for the news press down there. What do you guys think about this game tonight playing Smithville?
This is probably the biggest game in the area. Maryville-Smithville. Maryville's a one-loss team. Smithville's undefeated. If Maryville wins, there could be a potential for a 3-team share for the MEC title.
Really, a quick break. Listen to X106. as we are back on the Weekend Sports Kickoff. I am Devin Albertson, joined by Sean Nino and Ryan Elliott. Shavi just left us here on the set. Trevor Mater, as he made his picks for the NFL. Of course, last week we went through the standings. Sean and I went 4-1. Ryan and Joe went 3-2, and Trevor went 2-3. Overall, Ryan leads at 12-3. We have a three-way tie for second with Sean, myself, and Joseph all at 10-5, and Trevor at 9-6. Chiefs taking on the Redskins Monday Night Football in Arrowhead. Chiefs are a 7-point home favorite. Should be a beautiful night in Arrowhead. I think AccuWeather has it 84 degrees for Monday, so it should be nice and warm. It should be 74 tomorrow for the Fall Classic with Northwest. So nice weather here in Missouri still in early October. What do you guys have in this game? We'll go with Sean first.
That's a lot of points to give Kansas City.
That's kind of what I thought.
Just a 7-point line. I mean, I'm not saying that it can't happen because the past 2 weeks the Chiefs have had a 13 to 14 point lead in the fourth quarter, but I'm not used to seeing Kansas City have such a big line because I'm not used to
That much respect from Vegas is impressive.
Yeah, because I mean, I expect this team to maybe be a 3 to 4 point favorite, and then they can come out and surprise me. But I think this will be an interesting game because I think the Redskins, much like the Eagles, have a good front seven. They have a very good quarterback who can throw the ball around, and I think the Chiefs are going to come out with a win, but I'm going to need to see some things from this offensive line, and they are going to be down Mitch Morse. I know Eric Fisher didn't practice today. D. Ford also did not practice today. He had a bit of a hip injury in the San Diego game, but they're also calling it a bit of a back injury. God, it happened again. Good thing Trevor's not here. But when they played the Chargers, he got the hip injury, but now it's a back injury. So we don't know exactly what that is just yet, but he didn't practice today. So I think it'll be interesting to see. The good thing is with this game being on Monday, they have a bit more time to rest. I think even tomorrow they're going to practice at some point.
And Ryan, what do you get in this game?
This is another tough opponent for the Chiefs, and I think that's going to be the story we hear all season, is that this is a difficult schedule. They've won 3 games against 3 quality opponents, and it's just going to continue for the Kansas City Chiefs. We mentioned at home against the Redskins this week, then they head to Houston to take on the Texans, at home against the Steelers, at the Raiders, at home against the Broncos, at the Cowboys. That's a tough stretch of football.
And that includes a couple games there. You have Sunday Night Football versus the Texans, Thursday Night Football versus at the Raiders, 2 primetime games coming up that are going to be on the road. So a lot of big games until they get to that bye week after the Cowboys just survive. To that point.
And I think
schedule.
There will be a loss or 2 in there. They're not going to go undefeated. Let's be honest with ourselves.
It'll way too hard.
Unfortunately, this is one of the better chances. I think this Redskins team is good. They've got a good offense. They're going to test this Kansas City defense. But again, at Arrowhead Stadium on a Monday night, this crowd's going to show up, and it's going to be loud. It's going to be tough for the Redskins to communicate. I think they're a good football team. I think it's going to be similar to the team we saw against the Eagles a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's another 7-point win for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I think it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight the whole game. I don't think the Redskins play as they do last week versus the Raiders. I think that was one of the best game they could play all year. I don't think the Chiefs are going to play as well as they did versus New England. And I think it's one of the things where both these teams are going to be a little bit more in the middle. I'd probably still take the Chiefs on the money line and the straight pick 'em, but I'll take the Redskins +7 in this one. I think it's going to be a 3 to 5 point game in there.
I think that's why this is one of the better chances for the Chiefs to slip up, because if the Redskins play like they did against the Raiders, the Chiefs are going to be in trouble.
That's all we got for football picks. And as we're all trying to catch Ryan still in our pick'ems, we'll be back. Let's talk some college basketball. It says more news is broke in that right now, as Sean is trying to keep him out of depression right now, but we're going to talk about it anyways. We'll come back talking about the college basketball fiasco right now in college athletics. We'll be back here on the Weekend Sports Kickoff.